Hi. Since it's almost Christmas, I wanted to take a Christmas song and figure out a chord melody arrangement. So I did that the other day, and I decided to write it down. And in this video I'm going to explain it to you. You can find the notation and tabs on my website, and I'm just going to go through it in this video with some explanation. Now, the song is the Christmas song. It's very well known. I'm sure you know it. So let's start at the beginning. I'm playing it in E flat. So I'm starting with an E flat major 7th chord. Now the melody note is an E flat. So if you want to play the melody note in the top, you would get a straight E flat chord, which is okay, but it's very straight, so I like to include the major 7th anyway. So if we play that here, we get this chord. So that's E flat major 7th. Then the melody goes. Now the next chord I could play F minor 7th, but I prefer to play actually A flat major instead of F minor. And then up here with the melody note, that becomes an A flat with a sharp 11. So we get this. And then you would get the normal progression, I think, is G minor, C minor, F minor, B flat. And I'm going to do something similar, but instead of G minor, I'm going to play the substitute, D flat 7 or 9. So instead of this, I'm going to play this. So D flat, C, B, B flat. And the actual chords will be D flat 9, flat 5, C minor 7, B in the bass. That's B, A, D, G, B flat suspended with 13 in the top, and B flat 7, flat 9. So from the beginning. Then the next part, the next bit of melody is, and it starts with a B flat minor, which in here this makes it an 11, B flat minor 11. And now I'm playing. So I'm actually playing B flat minor, B flat plus 5, and then an E flat chord. Only I'm not playing all of the bass notes. So what you then get is this. So what is that? B flat minor 11. You could think of this as B flat 7 plus 5, but you can also think of it as a E 9th chord without the E in the bass. So E flat suspended. What I'm playing here. Here I was actually thinking of this kind of shape. And typically that is a 13 minus 9 shape. And here it's used on an E flat root note. So that would make this an E flat triad, and this would be the flat 9. So actually you could call it an E flat with a flat 9. And then this, that's a straight E flat 13, because here's the 7th, here's the 3rd, here's the 13, and here's the 9. So and then A major 7th, G7 plus 5, C minor 7th. So let's go back to this point for a minute. Then C minor 7, D flat 9, C minor 7th again. So you can think of this chord as a D suspended chord, only I'm not playing the D bass note, but playing the top notes here. So again, C minor 7, D flat 9. This is then D7 flat 9. Here's the flat 9. G major 7th. And then it modulates one semitone down, and then we get this. So it modulates from G to G flat. So we get D flat suspended, and a 7 flat 9 without the D flat. And this is a G flat major 9th actually. So you can think of the G flat major 7th. This could be seen as the 9th or 2nd, but 9th. And then I'm playing this bass figure. The nice thing about this is, for instance, that with this chord, if you play this chord out of context, this could be anything from a B flat minor 7 and a lot of other things. But because you play this, you're hearing the G flat bass note. So you're hearing it as a G flat chord. So going back a little bit. F minor 7 or 11 actually, because this is the 11. And then E7 plus 9. The plus 9 is here. And then the melody repeats, of course, but I want to do something different with the chords. So instead of going back to E flat, I'm going to play this sequence. So the first time it was E flat, A flat, D flat, C. And now I'm going to play something based on this. So I'm going to an A half diminished chord. And also I'm going to play the melody now here. So what we get then is, so we were here. So what is that? A half diminished, A flat 9, flat 5, so that's A half diminished, A flat 9, flat 5, G minor 7, C minor 7, F minor 11, a B diminished, and then back to B flat minor 11, so it's B minor and the melody goes like this. And I just like to include this little thing here, which is a major 7th on a minor chord. Again, for some variation, I'm going to play some slightly different chords than as the first time. So now I'm going to play a nice sound to it. So I'm not going to the A flat bass note here, but you can still look at this as a sort of an A flat chord. You could look at this as an A flat sus2. So this is A flat, B flat, that's the sus2, major 7, but with a C in the bass. So instead of this, I'm playing this, just for a change of color. And then to go there, I'm going through E flat, D flat, C. And on D flat you could play different things, but I decided to play here. I also need this melody note here, G. So this is nice here, this D flat 6-9, the sharp 11. So then again back to B flat. Then similar as before, C minor 7th. The first time we played D flat, so we were going from C up to D flat. This time I'm going down from C to B. Again, for a change of sound, change of color. Second time doing things a little bit different. So instead of going up, I'm going down here. So this is B diminished. This is E flat with a B flat in the bass. So this is a D suspended, 7 sus4. That's always a nice chord. That's a D7 with plus 5, sharp 5, sharp 9. Here's the 7th, here's the 3rd. I'm leaving out the bass note, so we get this. G minor 7th, C minor 7th. F minor 11, B diminished. So I'm ending up here again with an E flat major 7th chord, but the bass goes like this. So by not playing the E flat as a bass note, but playing the B flat as a bass note, it feels like it has to continue, it has to go on. It's not ended yet. So, and actually we're going to the bridge. So we have to go now from this chord to the bridge, which starts in B flat minor. And as a transition chord, I'm using B B9. The 9 is here. So I'm going from Now normally the bridge would go B flat minor, E flat, A flat. Now here I'm going to introduce a sort of a pedal note. So it's going to stay on E flat for a little while, so like this. So what am I doing there? It's B flat minor, E flat suspended, and here I'm playing actually an A flat major 9th, but I'm keeping the E flat in the bass as a pedal. So if you listen to this, that's A flat major 9th, but I'm keeping the E flat in the bass. And this is actually a F chord, an F13 minus 9 without the F. Think of F7, think of F7 minus 9, then put in the 13 here and the 7th there, then you get this. We had this shape before in a different function, but we had it before, and here it's again, here it's the 13 minus 9 shape. So think of F. But it has the E flat in the bass, and that's actually what I wanted here. I wanted to keep this E flat in the bass. So and then it continues with E flat suspended, E13. I'm not playing the E, but you could. But I'm not playing it here. This is a E flat 7 minus 9 without the E flat. If you play it like this, you could also see it as a diminished chord, but it's basically an E flat chord. And here I'm playing a diminished chord. So actually you normally have an A flat chord here, something like this. But I'm postponing this chord and playing first a diminished chord. It gives a little bit of extra tension. So there we are at A flat. So it continues on A flat minor. That's an A flat minor with a sus4 in it. D flat chord with a flat 5 and a flat 9. So it's a variation on this. Then I have to go to G flat major. For instance, this one, major 7th, with also a 6, or you could call it 13. B suspended. So again. That was a D flat suspended again. B suspended. And then C minor 11, where the F stays in the melody. So C minor 11, B9, B flat suspended, all the time with this F on top. And this last chord here is B flat 7 with a flat 9 and 13 on top here. Now the last time we play this melody, I want to have something very different, to make it different from the previous times. So let's try something crazy like this. So actually I was first thinking of this. So you can just look at this as a B flat chord, B flat here, B flat triad. This would make it 9 or sus2. And if you follow the melody, you could get something like this. But then sometimes you can try something, just moving the chord along the melody or the chord shape. It gives sometimes interesting results like this. So you can also explain that, but let's not go into it too deeply now for the moment. You can also look it up in the notation. But so the melody goes like this. So I'm moving this whole shape. Very simple, but sounds pretty cool, I think. So moving this down, then G13, and then this voice goes down. So you get this. So G13, then +5, then C suspended, flat 9, F minor, B flat, flat 9. Then E flat suspended with E in the top, also the melody note. E flat with a flat 9, or you could see it as diminished. A flat major 7th. This here for some variation. So this is major 7th, this is 6, 9, this would be 9, this would be 6. D flat suspended and D flat 9. And actually I like to include also some movement here by including also the sharp 11 to get this. So again, then again something similar as before, C minor 7, flat in the bass. We had these chords before. D suspended. So D7. I want this now in the melody. This makes it a flat 9. So you can play the bass note or not. You could leave it out or play it. And actually I'm staying up here then, and G minor 7, this if you like. So again, or this one, G minor 7, C minor 7, F minor 11, B flat suspended, and B flat 7. And the ending, well, maybe the ending is a bit of a cliche, but it sounds nice, so let's do it anyway. A descending sequence of A flat, G, G flat, F, E flat. So all the way from A to E flat. And actually the chords are so this whole sequence after this so those chords are A half diminished, A flat minor. This you could call an E flat sus2 with a G in the bass. G flat 13, F minor 7, E major 9th, if you consider this the 9th, and this is the major 7. And ending on the E flat major. You could also see this as a major 9th or a sus2. E flat, F, major 7th. So let's play the whole part from C minor. Right, so I hope you enjoyed that, and you can look up the notation and tabs on my website. You may find some minor differences with what I actually played, because I hardly ever play it exactly the same way twice. So you might find a couple of differences, but it should be really minor. And I'm sure that notation will show you quite clearly what I was doing here. So, enjoy and Merry Christmas.